Welcome everybody, my name is Brad Sanders, and today I'm going to show you how I paint up the ZIL 131 gun truck. This is my first video, so please be kind to me, but my intent here is just to take you through the process stage by stage, and we'll start with the priming, so please enjoy. This is the stage where we do pre-shading, and basically we take a black color and airbrush it on the model wherever a shade would exist. This tends to be in all the lines and the crevices and anywhere that you want it to be darker on the final model than the bigger, flatter areas. You'll get used to this as you do this more often. This is an important step and really adds a lot of modulation to the model at the end of the paint job. Now that the pre-shading is done, it's time for the base coat. I use a set of Ammo of MiG paints that are for Russian vehicles. I use 3 of them, a dark base, a base color, and then a light base. The colors are really nice, they go on well, but the colors are just spot on for Soviet vehicles. I use this set of colors all the time when I'm painting Soviets. So here, the base coat, you use the Russian dark base and you lightly go over your model. It's important that you do this in light coats, that you don't totally saturate the model, because you want those dark areas that you just did to kind of show through. Hopefully you'll see this in the video and it'll help you understand what I'm talking about. Now it's time for the second color, which is called Russian Base Green, and I just simply spray it on the model. But when I do this, I do it in light coats again, and I don't want to cover up all of the base coat that I just put on. I want to put the green in the larger sections, in the panels, in the highlight areas, but not in the deepest crevices of the model. I want that other green to show through. Hopefully as you watch this, you can see this happen. Now it's time to do the third color, which is a highlight color. I use the third color in the Ammo of MiG series, so this is called a Russian green, light green, something like that. But it's a little too bright for me, so I'll mix it in with whatever I have left over from the regular base color. So I'll just add it right into the cup of the airbrush, mix it up, and start hitting the model. The key here is only hit where the highlights of the model would be. Otherwise, you'll wash out the entire model and make it a little too bright. Now it's time for a gloss coat. So when I gloss coat, I am really protecting the model. I'm locking in all the work I've done so far, because the next step, which is the pin wash, is an enamel, and it has the ability to destroy the paint I've already done. So the gloss coat is important, not only to protect the paint, but to make it easier for the pin wash to run through the small areas. You'll see that when we do that part. Now it's time for the pin wash. I use a particular product for this that I've really come to like, and that's the Ammo of MIG dark brown wash for green vehicles. It really does an excellent job. I use a little bit of thinner in a metal cup, and I mix that with the wash, mix that up so it's really liquidy, and then I will do a pin wash on the model. A pin wash is important because it really what gives the depth and a little dirtiness look to the vehicle. But don't slather it all over your vehicle. It's not a wash. It's not intended to go everywhere. It's what they call a pin wash, which is you just dot the areas with the wash, and the gloss coat that we put on in the previous step makes it really flow really well. So it just flows into all the cracks and it flows into all the crevices, and that's all that you want it at. You'll see as I go through this and hit the pin wash that I'm just touching the model at certain points, letting that wash seep into all of the crevices of the model. We're done with the pin wash, and hopefully it looks a lot better to you with that extra shadow to it, and the grungy look really makes it really stand out. Now, the problem we have is that the pin wash will get into certain places where you didn't want it. It will pool a little bit. It will need a little cleaning up, and that's what this stage is simply cleaning up the pin wash. You want a little enamel thinner on your brush. You want it to make sure it's not overly saturated, and you want to just lightly clean up any of the pin wash where it's pooled up. It's a pretty quick process. Now it's time to do the windows. I like a dark black window, maybe with a little bit of gray in it. So I simply water down some black paint and fill in the windows. Now it's time to do chipping, and I break chipping down into 3 steps. And in this step, I'm using the sponge technique, and this is simply where you take a sponge and tear it up a little bit, put it into some color, in this case a light tan, and you dab it on the model where the chipping would occur. This, of course, is the edges of the model. Now we're on to the second step of chipping, and this is where you mix up a black gray color to put into where the tan area is. And this is supposed to represent where metal has been, where the areas have worn down to the metal, through the primer down to the metal. I really like this effect. It's fun to do on a model, so I suggest you try it out. But it's pretty simple. Just take this color and put it in wherever you have the tan color. Not totally covering up the tan, but just on the worn areas where metal would be exposed. Now step 3 of the chipping process is where you add some rust. I like to use this streaking rust from ammo, It does a great job. It's easy to use. It is an enamel, so you'll need a little bit of thinner at the end of this, but you're just going to dab it onto areas where there would be rust. Right? This is the large chipped panels. This is where you have some large chipping, and some of the small ones as well. You'll get a feel for it. You just put it where you think you want some rust. When it's done, you're going to take a moistened paintbrush with a little bit of enamel thinner, and you're just going to clean up the rust areas by dragging them down. This will cause a streaking effect that looks really great when the model is done. At this stage, the model's pretty much done. The only thing I'm going to do here at the end is add some gray color to the tires because they don't look realistic when they're totally black. There's a great color by Ammo that is called Rubber and Tire. I use it a lot for this kind of situation, right, where you want to add a grayish color to your tires, not too gray, not too black, and this does a great job. Now for the final step, and this is my favorite part of the process. I use Ultra Matte Varnish from Ammo, and I spray the entire model. I just want to knock down that glossy sheen we created earlier and give it more military, realistic vehicle look to it. And you can see this model transform in front of you when you do this. That's why it's a lot of fun. It really knocks down the glare. And after this, we are finished. Well, that's it. That's the model. Hopefully you've learned something along the way, or at least enjoyed watching me paint this. Please like and subscribe. If this goes well, then I plan on making several more of these on different vehicle types and helicopters. So please leave me some comments in the feedback. Thanks. Bye.